Good evening, everyone. Happy Thankful Thursday. I hope that you had a wonderful day today. I want to I want to first of all apologize to you for coming on late tonight. I had some technical difficulties trying to actually log on to the live stream. I still need to take some training with YouTube, especially when it comes to this OBS system and going live. I think the last couple of times that I went live, I just actually just did an impromptu live and I came on and, it just happened. But for some reason, when you schedule a live, it works different. And so I couldn't figure out how to actually get it started. So my apologies for being late. It looks like I've got one person on with me right now. Can you please share with me and let me know if you can hear me okay? Um, I don't know if I don't have my earbuds on, and usually my sound is much clearer when I have my earbuds on. So if you can hear me, please type in the chat and let me know, yes, you can hear me. I'll give it a few minutes, a couple seconds. I think I've got it on a slight delay. Um, So if you can hear me, just type in the chat and let me know that you can hear me. Let me go and grab my earbuds really quick so that I can make sure that you can hear me. Let's see if I can turn these. Let's see. All right. Okay, good. Now I know that the volume will be much better for me. So, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the live. My apologies for coming in late tonight. I was having some technical difficulties and couldn't figure out how to actually start the live. When I set it up and I scheduled the live, I thought maybe there would be a place for me to just go in and just click and I would be live, but it was a little different. So I am still learning how to schedule live events and so just kind of work with me during this interim time period. I'm still trying to work through OBS, the OBS software. I think I mentioned to you on the last live that I did that I was still having, I don't know why it's so complicated, but for some reason it is. So welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I see that I've got one person. Would you please type in the chat and let me know if you can hear me good, and also let me know where you're chiming in from. Just let me know, who you are, what city you're chiming in from, and let me know if you can hear me. I would greatly appreciate it. I've got a slight delay on the chat here, so I'll give it a couple of minutes, a couple of seconds. Welcome, 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 welcome. Happy Thankful Thursday to you. Let me know who is out there and let me know if you can hear me. And let me know what city you're chiming in from so that I can just kind of know who's out there watching. Happy Thankful Thursday. I hope y'all had a wonderful day today. And you're looking forward to the weekend. I know I am. I am leaving for vacation on Sunday, so I am really excited about it. Anytime I know for me, whenever I'm getting ready to go on vacation, I have a tendency to go into beast mode, and I get to the point where I am extremely focused, and making sure that I've got everything kind of set up and in order so that when I can return that I won't feel like I'm totally behind. So yeah, so I'm getting excited, really excited. I hope that you are planning to take a vacation this year, because I know that vacationing is always so important. It's always good for us to be able to step away from the mundane and take a minute to just kick back, kick our shoes up, and just sit back and relax for a minute. And I hope that you do have some plans to do that. Again, if you can hear me clear, please type in the chat and let me know. Just say, yes, you can hear me. And also let me know what city you're chiming in from. I would greatly appreciate that. Okay. So in tonight's live, we are going to talk about barriers to success. Barriers to success. I wanted to talk about this. I wanted to kind of use this as a discussion topic a few weeks ago. However, um, the night that I was going to do the live, I had somewhat of an emergency that came up, which prevented me from being able to come on and do the live. And so I came back out the next day and said that I was going to be live. I sat on the live for about 15 to 20 minutes and not one person showed. So I said, okay, well, I'll just keep trying until somebody shows up. So for the two of you who are out there, thank you so much for joining me. I would appreciate it if you would just type in the chat and let me know if you can hear me before I move forward, because it helps me. At least it'll kind of give me confidence to know that you can hear me. All right. Sometimes with technology, we think that things are a-okay, and then once we finish doing it, I know I've recorded several videos just this past week alone, and I have to remember to plug in my mic because my computer does not have like a speaker on it where it picks up my voice. So I always have to use my microphone and plug it in before I actually start recording. But I did two videos this past week without doing it. And I realized after I finished doing the video, you couldn't hear me. So I had to delete the video and I had to start all over again. So that's the reason why I kind of need for you to just kind of communicate with me and let me know that you can hear me. I don't see anybody responding. I don't know if it's my chat, um, because I don't see anybody responding at all. So if you would let me know, I would greatly appreciate it. But I'm going to go ahead and get started with the live tonight. So again, our topic for tonight is barriers to success. Okay, Miss Jenkins, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Sumter, South Carolina. Awesome. Awesome. Welcome. Welcome, Ernestine. Thank you so much. I appreciate you responding. So tonight we're going to talk about barriers to success. Okay. It has been said that success leaves clues. And if you study successful people, most of the time you'll see that they have specific habits that they do, or basically that they incorporate into their daily schedule, that catapults them to a level of success. A lot of times when we see successful people, we think that, oh my gosh, I'm sure it was real easy. I'm sure it was this, I'm sure it was that. And I always say we always see the fame and the glory, but we really don't know the story. So when it comes to success, it's really it's really important to make sure that you follow some of those same patterns that those successful people do. So I did some research, and I came up with some information that I wanted to share with you. And I'd love to hear your feedback. Once I share this information with you, I'd love to hear your feedback, and you can just kind of share with me where you are and what some of your barriers to success is as well. So, first of all, let's talk about what a barrier is. A barrier is like a block, okay? It's like something that's actually hindering and stopping you from being able to move forward. When you're out driving, and sometimes when if there's a roadblock, the police will come in and they'll have, like, several police cars blocking the road so that you cannot continue to move forward. Well, those blocks, or sometimes they use cars, sometimes they use those little cones. Sometimes they'll use an actual block to put in the road so that you cannot move forward. But the majority of the time, when you see a roadblock, is generally like police cars that's blocking your way. And that's basically what it is that I'm talking about tonight when it comes to an actual barrier. Okay. And a lot of times when we start our business, or when you start a business, there are if you're not positioned around the right people, and if you don't educate yourself by taking the necessary training, it can cause many, 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 many blocks. Okay. So, one of the barriers that I'm going to share with you is time. Okay. A lot of times when you say that you want to start a business, and if you're still working a full-time job, or you have a lot of other responsibilities, time can be a huge barrier. And when something is really important to you, you will actually put it on your calendar, and you will actually schedule it on your calendar. Just like if you had a doctor's appointment, okay? When you have a doctor's appointment, you will put that doctor's appointment date and time on your calendar. And if you don't put it on your calendar and you miss the appointment, what happens? You get billed a late fee. And that late fee is not cheap. It's usually around $25 when you do not when you don't show up for your appointment. Okay. So the way we can kind of relate it to business is that when you don't put in the time to grow your business, time can be a huge factor that will hinder the growth or the success of your business. So, no matter who you are, if you have a business, you have to put in time. I don't care if you do have a job, I don't care if you have a family. If you are really serious about your business, you have to put in the time. You know, you can't get something for nothing. And just by you actually showing up for your business on a regular basis, putting in the necessary time, that is one of the main factors that you'll need to do, one of the main habits that you'll need to incorporate to start to grow your business. So, time, okay, is number one. Number two, the second barrier to success would be poor communication skills. Now, a lot of times people will start a business and they don't know how to actually communicate with others. My daughter was sharing with me today how she was out looking for another daycare center for my grandson. And she said one thing she always pays attention to when she's talking to, like, the director or the people who work there at the center is how well they're able to communicate with her. And of course, she looks at other things as well. But if they cannot communicate with her, then she sees that as a barrier as to the reason why she won't allow my grandson to, or be open to the possibility of my grandson going there. So when it comes to your business, you have to know how to tell someone and communicate with other people what you do. You need to be able to explain to them who you are, what you do, and how you can help them. And if you can learn how to communicate with others just by the mere fact of actually introducing yourself. One of the things that I do personally is I do one-on-one networking and prospecting, talking to people one-on-one online. And that's how I find customers, and that's how I find recruits. And I have found that a lot of people, just by the mere fact of the way I introduce myself, a lot of people respect that, because I have had several people to tell me, Felita, it's such a pleasure meeting someone who actually takes the time to introduce themselves without trying to first sell me something. And the reason why I prospect the way that I do is because I recognize and I realize that people don't want to be sold to. You have to find a genuine and make a genuine connection with someone so that you can build the know, the like, and the trust factor. If you cannot build the know, the like, and the trust factor with someone, then chances are you have pretty much, screwed up your opportunity to be able to win over a potential customer. Okay, so it's really important for you to learn how to communicate. It's important for you to learn how to introduce yourself. And we used to call it like a 30-second elevator spiel back in the day. This was when we were doing a lot of face-to-face prospecting. We called it the 30-second elevator spiel. So in other words, you had to be able to, when you meet someone, you had to be able to tell that person who you are and what you do in less than 30 seconds. Because if you're going to grab somebody's attention, chances are you're going to be able to grab them within the first 15 seconds. And this is even true when it comes to videos and shorts. If you don't grab that person's attention within the first 15 seconds, they're going to move on. They're going to totally move on. So if you can just learn how to practice your communication skills, introducing yourself, tell them who you are and what you do. Nobody wants to know that you are a beauty influencer. They want to know what exactly is a beauty influencer. Okay. So communication, poor communication skills is another barrier to success. And then number 3, the availability of resources and opportunities. So when we look at resources, I remember I've been in the business over 20 years. So I remember when I first started the business, in order for you to really, really grow and make money, you had to have money to be able to invest in a lot of brochures. Okay. You could be, and then there was, well, I'll say the way I was taught to sell, you had to be able to invest in a lot of brochures. I basically was kind of looking at the most successful people in the business when I first started. And what I noticed that there was a pattern that all of them had in business. They ordered a lot of brochures. Well, in today's time, it's different. In today's time, we have the digital brochure. So you can use that same concept by sharing the digital brochure with a lot of people, and it won't cost you anything. The only thing that it will cost you is your time investment. Okay. So when it comes to resources and opportunities, I think the way you can look at our business model for today, that's not a real big barrier for us today. Okay. Now, if you had to talk, if we were talking about 10 years, then yes, it would have been a barrier 10 years ago because that was pretty much the only way you could actually get customers was that you had to invest. You had to invest in those brochures, you had to invest in all those samples, you had to invest. If you didn't have the money to invest, it was just going to be very challenging. But now let me tell you the difference between some of the representatives who did take a lot of money, invest a lot of money in. Then you had a lot of the Hispanics who would come into the business. Let me tell you the difference. The Hispanics, most of the time when you would start, if you started a business back in the day selling Avon, it was like $10 to get started. Okay. That $10 covered your brochures, it covered like a few samples, it covered just some minor business materials and a little carrying bag. That's what you got for $10 back in the day. Okay. Now, when the majority of people came in and they got the ten brochures, the first thing they said is, this is not enough. But when I appointed Hispanic representatives, representatives came in and they said, oh, this is too many brochures. I don't need that many. I only need maybe about 3 or 4 brochures. But the amazing part about that is that the Hispanic representatives who joined only used maybe 3 brochures to sell from, and they always had higher sales. They could come out very easily with a $500 to $1,000 order. You know why? Because they didn't use the same strategy that the majority of representatives were using during that day and time. The majority of representatives was doing a lot of neighborhood canvassing. They were doing a lot of, prospecting at local businesses. They were using like brochures, leaving them out at, local businesses and stuff like that. That's what they were doing a lot of back in the day. Okay. But Hispanics, they would go and knock on the door and actually talk to the person, and they would invite them in. They will sit down and they will talk. And by the time they finished that conversation, they walked out with maybe a $50 to a $60 order majority of the time. Now, $50 order back in the day, 10 years ago, that was a lot of products because that was during the day and the time when like the average lipstick was like $2.99. Okay. When you had the 99-cent roll on deodorant. Okay. And when you had like the $5, the bubble bath was like $5. This is when products were very inexpensive. These Hispanics, they could come out very easy with 3 brochures and have a $500 order very easily and would consistently continue to do it. Now, I don't know if it was just a matter of community and the way Hispanics actually communicated with each other, but they were always extremely good representatives, and they always, they were good customers as well. Okay. Now, what a lot of the other representatives was doing was leaving the brochures with someone, and sometimes you would get a telephone number and be able to follow up with them, and the majority of the time you didn't. Especially when you would leave brochures at local businesses, you would get a call every now and then. And just to kind of give you what the stats were, I used to order on an average about 200 brochures every single campaign. And out of ordering 200 brochures, a lot of times I would get on an average of maybe 3 to 4 customers, new customers every campaign. And I just kept consistently doing that over a period of time. And that was how I built my customer base. But Hispanics, whole different ball game. Whole different ball game. Okay. So resources and opportunities is definitely not a barrier for us anymore because we have a lot of tools, especially the most important tool is now free for us. And we also have the easy and accessible ability to be able to take online training. Back in the day, we had to show up in sales meetings. So we have a lot, it's a lot more easier the way the business model is today. Okay. All right. Number four, the fourth barrier to success would be clarity and uncertainty. When I do my videos, my campaign marketing strategy videos, the first thing I share with you in those videos is to get clear. Because if you are not clear about what you want and the reason why you're doing it, then nothing is going to happen in your business. Mental clarity is just like saying, it's like saying, I am laser focused on where I want to go. It's just like saying, I have a GPS system. I know the exact location of where I want to go. And if you don't have an exact ultimate location, any road is going to get you there. You're going to be turning down this road. You're going to be going too far out here. You're going to be going all the way over there. You're going to be going making all these unnecessary turns when all you had to do was get clear in your mind about what it is that you want to achieve. That's the first thing. You got to sit down. You got to sit down and get clear, have mental clarity about your goals. It just does not work without the goals. That's something I do every single campaign. I sit down and I write down in my notebook what I want to achieve for the campaign. I write down what my sales goal is. I write down what my team's goals are, all of that. I'm very clear. I have a lot of mental clarity. Okay. So if you are not doing that, that could be a major, major barrier to your success. Okay. Then the other part of that is uncertainty. A lot of people, I'll put it like this, when you're uncertain about something, it's very challenging for you to keep moving forward. It's kind of like when, the way we used to market our business back years ago. It was hard for you to keep spending money on brochures and you were not absolutely certain if you were going to get a return off of your money. Because to purchase about 200 brochures back in the day will cost you about $30. And it wasn't an easy thing to keep spending $30, not knowing you were going to get anything back from it. That's why you have to really be clear about your goals because you have to know specifically what your target number is. And if you are disciplined about working the numbers, then the law of average will show up for you no matter what. So for me, like I had huge goals back in the day, and I still have huge goals as well. But I use it differently now because we have the digital brochure now, and I don't have to spend that kind of money on brochures. I can use that money now to like buy demos, and I can use that money to go towards samples. I can use it for those type of um, business tools to help me grow now. But again, when it comes to uncertainty, you're just not going to keep investing time and money into something that you're uncertain about. Okay? So that could be a huge barrier to success. And sometimes you may not even have the confidence enough to even show up and share with other people and tell people about your business because you, number one, lack confidence in yourself, and you may be afraid of rejection. And so that becomes a huge barrier to success. And that was one of my biggest challenges that I had to overcome back in the day. I was totally afraid of rejection. And I had to come to terms and realize that every person that you talk to is just not going to be open and receptive to what you have to offer. That's just part of the sales process. And this was, I wasn't trained, so I didn't know. So um, I had to learn that rejection is just part of the process. Everybody that you talk to is just not going to be interested in what you have to offer. Okay. So keep that in mind. Okay. So clarity and uncertainty can definitely be a barrier to success. And then number five, finding fault in others. Okay, finding fault in others. So I guess the way I'm trying to relate finding fault in others, I'm trying to relate that to where we are in business today. I can't really, it's hard for me to kind of pinpoint that one, finding fault in others. But I do know that when you find fault in other people, that is a negative emotion. And that negative emotion can definitely be a barrier to your success. Okay. Because if you are not staying focused with a positive mind and a positive mental attitude, that can definitely be a serious barrier to your success. Okay, so if we learn how to take our focus off of what other people are doing and just stay focused on what we're doing and our inner compass, that's what we really need to do, is just stay focused on what our goals are. We can't be focused on what somebody else is doing and what they're not doing. We got to keep our eyes on the ultimate prize, and that can be a very, very serious hindrance for other people when they're constantly looking at what other people are doing. So finding fault in others, then yeah, I can see that as being a huge barrier to success, because again, it's a negative energy, it's a negative emotion, it's a negative vibration. And the more you are vibing on that frequency, then you'll continue to attract that type of energy. Okay. So that is a huge barrier to success. So now, on a personal note, I want to share with you what is one of my barriers that I have been personally dealing with. Okay. And I'm going to be very transparent here and share with you my issue. So, for me, I have always been a night owl. I am most productive like after 10 o'clock. And a lot of times I will work until 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning. And when I go to bed that late, it's very challenging for me to get up early in the morning. So I'm dealing with this cognitive dissonance where I'm weighing back and forth. You need to go to bed earlier. You need to get up earlier. You need to go to bed early. You need to get up early. You need to go to bed early. You need to get up early. I'm constantly dealing with this cognitive dissonance. Now, I have a tendency to, maybe about 3 days out of the week, I can be very good. I'll go to bed at 11:30, and I'll get up early in the morning. I'll get up around 6:30. Okay. And I'm very, very proud of myself, because I realize that when I wake up early in the morning, I have an opportunity to jumpstart my day before the world does. I have an opportunity to jumpstart my day, to get into my prayer time, to get into my meditation time, and everything is still quiet. But if I wait till after 8 o'clock, then I'm dealing with all the cars driving up and down the street. I'm dealing with, uh, hubby coming home. My husband works third shift. My son, being up during that time because he works third shift. So I know the thing that I need to do, because I know that if I got up earlier in the morning, I could tackle the day and I can get a lot more stuff done. I would be a lot more productive if I would get up earlier enough in the morning. And I had even considered like starting like a 7 a.m. workout group, via Zoom, just so that it can just hold me accountable to do what I need to do. And I may still consider doing that, but I won't be able to do it here on YouTube. I'll have to do it on TikTok. So if you are following me on TikTok, be sure to follow me on TikTok. You can find me on TikTok at Coach Felita. Follow me there, and I'll do it on TikTok. The reason why I will do it on TikTok live is because there's no copyright restrictions to the music. Anything you do here on YouTube. Hey, Charlotte. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm almost at the end, but you'll be able to go back and watch the replay. But what I was sharing is that I had a vulnerable moment where I was just sharing that one of my barriers to success is getting up earlier in the morning. I have a tendency to be a night owl, and I've been a night owl pretty much all my life. I get more work done after 10 o'clock at night. Between the 10 o'clock and the 1 o'clock time frame, that's when I am most productive. And I get a lot done during that time. I'm more productive. During the daytime, I have a tendency to, I'll put it like this. In the morning time, it takes me a minute to kind of get started in the morning. And one of the reasons why it does is because I go to bed too late at night. I already know that. I already know that. And I notice the difference whenever I get in the bed, and I'm in the bed by 11:30, no later than 12, and I get at least 6 hours of sleep. When I wake up the next morning, I am fully charged. I am fully charged. And so during that time, I do have the time to kind of, still do my, that's a very sacred time of the day for me, and I really enjoy getting up early. So I really have to discipline myself um going to bed earlier at night. So I have to just kind of train myself. No work after 9 p.m., no computer after 9 p.m. Because one thing about these cell phones and these computers, the more they're on and the blue light is affecting our mental capacities. And it does prolong your ability to be able to go to sleep the longer you're on your computer and your cell phone. So, but what I have started to do, and the thing of it is that when I get into bed, I'm out. It doesn't take me no time. By the time I shower and I say my prayers and I get in the bed, I'm off to sleep. I do my meditation going off to sleep, and I'm asleep within 5 or 10 minutes once I get in the bed. Okay. And so I sleep very well, and especially when I turn the Wi-Fi off of my phone. And that's another thing. If you're sleeping with your phone next to you when you go to bed, make sure you turn the Wi-Fi off and put it on airplane mode. I promise you'll get better quality sleep if you do that. Okay. All right. It's something about the Wi-Fi interferes with our ability to be able to rest, and it interferes with the brain waves as well when you're sleeping. So I highly encourage you that if you're not putting your phone on, turning off the Wi-Fi and putting that phone on airplane mode, I highly encourage you to do that so that you can get some good quality sleep. Okay, so that is my vulnerable moment. That is my barrier to success, because I know that if I can just change that one habit, I could I could be more productive, and I can get a lot more things accomplished throughout the day. But by the time I finish my morning rituals, I do a lot in the morning. I'm doing my prayer, my meditation, I'm doing my journaling, I'm doing my personal development, I'm writing notes. Those are things I just pour into myself first thing in the morning. And I do spend quality time on that because I realize I put out a lot. And for me to put out a lot, I have to make sure my cup is full. I wouldn't be able to share anything with you if I didn't have a full cup. My goal is to always be able to provide value. And if I can't do that if my cup is not full, I can't, I won't be an asset to anyone if I'm not pouring into myself first. So if 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 you're not pouring into yourself, I do want to encourage you, take that time in the morning, pour into yourself, work on your personal development, learn new things, read a book, have a book that you read or watch. I always like to watch and listen to like the Daily Stoic. I listen to all types of success stories, rise to riches stories. Those type of things keep me inspired, and they keep me motivated, and they keep me in the game because I'm always so inspired by what other people are accomplishing. And I look at them and I say, well, if they could do it, I know I can do it. The only difference is that they just had a very high level of discipline. And that's the challenge. Most of us don't have a very high level of discipline. We are so caught up into so many things distracting us that we allow the distractions to totally pull us away from what we need to be doing. I think in today's day and time, it's more challenging than ever to stay focused. I know it is for me. I have had to learn to just put my phone on the opposite side when I'm actually working. That's really important for me. So, would you ladies like to share with me? Would you like to share a barrier that you may be going through right now? Is it anything that you're going through that could be a barrier to your success? I'd love to. I'd love for you to share and share with me what your if you have a barrier that is presenting itself to you or keeps showing up in your life. And if you don't want to share, then that's totally fine. I totally understand. Totally understand. But that is pretty much all that I wanted to share tonight. I am going to give you an opportunity to share with me um, what your barrier may be. If you'd like to share, if you feel open enough to share, share with me what your barrier. And I'll just kind of quickly go back over what I shared earlier. These are just a few of the things that may be barriers to your success. Number one, time. Okay. Number two, poor communication skills. Number three, availability of resources and opportunities. Number four, clarity and uncertainty. As I said, that's the first thing I mention when I do campaign, my campaign marketing strategy videos. That's the first thing that I share with you is that you got to get clear. You got to have mental clarity about what you want and what you want to achieve. Because if you're showing up and you don't have a clear focus, you're not clear about where you're going, then any road is going to get you there. And I gave the example of, the GPS. When you're taking a trip somewhere, you have to put an address in the GPS in order for you to reach your destination. If you don't put an address in that GPS, any road is going to get you there. You're going to be making all types of wrong turns. You're going to be going the opposite direction. That's why you have to have mental clarity. That's why you have to have mental clarity. Okay. And then we talked about uncertainty. A lot of times when it comes to constantly investing in your business, spending money, you are a little apprehensive to doing that because you have a bit of uncertainty as to whether or not you're going to get a return back from that. And I totally understand that. So uncertainty can definitely be a barrier to success. And then number five, I shared finding fault in others. And when it comes to finding fault in others, that keeps you on a negative vibration. You're vibing on a negative frequency that's keeping your energetic level on a very low frequency that's pulling you down. In order for you to have success, you got to be in a mental state of joy. You got to be in a mental state of excitement. You got to be in a mental state of love. You got to be able to love what you're doing. If you don't love what you're doing, you can like what you're doing, but if you love what you're doing, it's going to put you on a higher frequency. That's the reason why I recommend using your products. If you use your products and you understand how well those products work for you, you have an excitement and you're realizing, oh my God, I love this product. I love how it makes my skin look. I could not share with you how much I love Avon Skincare if I was not having the results that I'm having. If I didn't have clear skin, and more than anything, I would hate for someone to compliment me on my skin and tell me my skin looks good. And they ask me, what are you using on your skin? And I tell them another brand. And here I am, a beauty influencer with Avon. What kind of stuff is that? What kind of stuff is that? That's not good at all. You gotta be able to have some form of excitement about your business. When you first join, you're really excited when you first join your business. You have this excitement, you want to share it with everybody. And then when you have those times when somebody tell you, oh, I don't use Avon. I don't use Avon. Don't give me no more books. I don't use that stuff. That stuff broke me out. When you have one person to tell you that, it'll affect your energetic level and it'll bring you down. And then it'll totally shift your game. And then you start thinking to yourself, well, she don't like it. I don't know how many other people may not like it. But you got to realize if you're going to continue on in sales, rejection is part of the business. It's just part of the business. If you talk to 10 people in a cold market in sales, 9 of those people are going to tell you no. They're going to tell you, no, I'm not interested. I don't care what you're selling. 9 of those people are going to tell you no. And when you talk to that 10th person, that's when that one person say, oh, I've been looking for you. And it'll make it all worth what you went through with those 9 telling you no. So you got to understand the numbers. You got to understand that when it comes to sales, it's a numbers game. And you cannot take anything personal. Please don't take it personal. Okay? Just know it's part of the game. So for every person you network and you talk to and they say, no, I'm not interested. I don't use Avon. I use this. Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. You have a great day. You just say that's 1. Keep going. Because by the time you get to number 10, you're going to reach your number. The laws, that's just the law of average. It works on your behalf. It's amazing to me how it works, but it's almost like you just got to experience this stuff. It's like the universe is testing you. to see how serious you are. And if you keep going, you're going to get rewarded. But if you stop, the universe is going to say, yeah, she wasn't really that serious anyway. She wasn't that serious anyway. All right. So just keep in mind, you know, numbers is just, you got to go through the numbers, and rejection is just part of what you got to go through. Okay. So I shared 5 barriers to success with you. And I shared with you a vulnerable moment about me. Would any of you like to share a barrier that may be hindering you at this point? And let's talk about a solution, how we can find a solution to help you overcome that barrier. So my solution for my issue of getting up late in the morning is that I just got to shut my computer down at 10 o'clock. By 10 o'clock, I need to have my computer shut down by 10, and I need to be prepping for bed at 10 o'clock. That's just all it is to it. And I have to discipline myself. And I may end up doing that workout thing at 7 in the morning, just so that it'll, because I know for, if you do something for, they say 21 days, but 21 days to me doesn't really necessarily develop a habit for me. But if you do something for 30 days consecutively, you'll form that habit. And that's a habit that'll stick with you for long periods of time. Okay. So, yeah. So if you're not following me on TikTok, be sure to follow me at Coach Felita on TikTok. There's 2 Coach Felitas on there. Somebody copied my photo, but the photo that I'm using is the one with my short hair. Okay, the other one that they copied, I believe I had, that was when I had a perm in my hair. My hair was gray. So don't follow that one, because that's the wrong one. Okay, follow the one that has, I think I have about 4,200 followers on TikTok. So follow that one. And if you're interested in joining me, I'll make the announcement. I'm going to be on vacation next week. So if I do it, it'll be after I get back from vacation. Okay. So you may not see any training videos next week, but I may post some shorts while I'm on vacation. Okay, just some little quick motivational shorts while I'm on vacation, but I won't be doing any training videos because I like to do my videos from my desktop computer here. So I won't be doing that next week. Okay. So, ladies, I want to thank you so much, Charlotte and Ernestine. I want to thank you so much for hanging in here with me tonight. I know it's getting late. I know, Charlotte, I know you're on the West Coast, so it's probably about 7 o'clock there, your time. But here it is 10 o'clock. So technically, I'm supposed to be off this computer right now, and I'm supposed to be preparing to get to bed so that I can get my butt up earlier in the morning. Okay. So, ladies, again, thank you so much for chiming in tonight. And since you didn't share with me, I totally understand. And yeah, 7:09. Okay, yeah, this is 10:09 here in Atlanta. It's 10:09 here in Atlanta. So I totally understand. But I do appreciate you joining in with me tonight. And feel free to comment, leave a comment. And let me know if you want to share later on. That's fine. If not, I totally understand. Okay. And again, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Peace and love to you. And I'll talk to you when I get back the week of August the 1st. Okay. All right. Love you, ladies. Have a good evening. Talk to you later, and bye for now.